Fresh off the presses of Terry McLaurin's trade request, it's getting even dicier down in Dallas as MICAH Parsons, the star player and best player on the Dallas Cowboys, just requested a trade from Jerry Jones and company. Let's have a fun, not realistic, or reality type conversation. Let's go into imaginary dreamland real quick because we know MICAH Parsons loves Dan Quinn like he's a blood relative and kinfolk. And Benjamin Albright, who's very plugged in, has already stirred the we all know MICAH wants to get back the DQ connections. It's not happening. But what if? Let's have some fun. Let's talk about it. Listen, I know it is none of our business what is happening down in Dallas with our arch nemesis Dallas Cowboys, but this is big news because there are levels to the way that you go about requesting or demanding a trade. Terry McLaurin requested a trade, but most of us in the know, most of us within the confines of the DMV, we know that they want to get a deal done with Terry. We know Terry doesn't want to leave here. This is different. This man, Parsons, is in his Apple Notes like a rapper and wrote a whole 96-bar verse saying goodbye to Dallas Cowboy fans. And we're going to read the entire thing to see just how genuine MICAH is with his declaration that he no longer wants to be a part of Jerry Jones' organization. And we know how MICAH champions Dan Quinn. That boy misses being here. He misses the culture that follows Dan Quinn. But realistically, we're not going to be too realistic here because realistic isn't fun. It's the first of the month. It's Friday afternoon. And let's have some fun. We're talking about a 25-year-old player that is top three at his position in the league and has 52 and a half sacks in 4 seasons. So this is fun. Let's have some fun with this conversation. Let's live in a world where teams trade 25-year-old superstars to divisional rivals. You know, not just the Jahan Dotson or Wash McNabb types. Teams trade star players to a divisional rival in 25 in this world, this hypothetical dreamland that we're going to live in for the next 10 or 15 minutes. Let's read MICAH Parsons' trade declaration from his Apple Notes. Let's see where it starts. First of all, there's a lot of words, by the way. That nigga used every character possible to get his shit off for this. Like, he is not playing any games with the Dallas Cowboys. Terry ain't do this yet. That's how you know that there's hope that they're going to get this shit done. This is a whole lot of... I didn't even know MICAH Parsons had all this to say. Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sport. That nigga lying like hell. And make America's team great once again. Oh, man, that was close to MAGA. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. So Louis Riddick was talking about them earlier, not us. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for an organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer... Oh, he's starting every sentence with no longer. Oh, he in his bag right now. Let's cook, MICAH. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done. But since there is confusion out there, let me clear some things up. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last offseason after my 3rd year in hopes of getting a deal done early. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start my negotiations at that point. I was okay with that. I didn't complain, focused on the 2024 season. After the season, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open to negotiate when they met at the combine. My agent then informed me that I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up, but I didn't care and wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. This was before any other pass rusher deals had got done, and that market looking crazy. Hendrickson's working on it. We've seen what Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, and the likes of that have gotten. After the season, I told my agent once again to let the team know where we were open to negotiate when they met at the combine. My agent informed me that I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up at that point. But I didn't care and wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. This was before any of the pass rush deals got done this offseason. I knew I would be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. Oh, he's cooking, man. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones to talk about leadership. Somehow the conversation turned into him talking contract with me. Yes, I engaged in a back and forth in regards to what I wanted from my contract, but at no point did I think this was supposed to be a formal negotiation. And I informed Mr. Jones afterward that my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam, he was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him that that was not the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, my team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk. Yet still, not a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had something in the talking contract with me. I engaged in a back and forth in regards to what I wanted from my contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation. And I informed Mr. Jones afterward. My agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam, so there's a lot of cat and mouse bullshit and evasion from the Dallas Cowboys side. My agent, of course, told him this was not the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to be silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk. Still not a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up till today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet. But again, repeated shots at myself and all the narratives. I've made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones perfectly. Bang, bang. Shots fired. It don't get more official than that. MICAH Parsons has let it be known he wants no more part of these games. And yes, they could still end up getting an extension done, but he pinned his version of the Declaration of Independence. He just wrote his "not like us" to the organization of the Dallas Cowboys because he does not want to be a part of any of Jerry Jones' games. Jerry Jones has to be the biggest star in Dallas, and if there's a bigger star than him, he has a problem with it, and he must do everything in his ability to try to humble it. You deserve better, Micah. And yes, I know we got a situation with Terry McLaurin that we need to work out here. But let's live in a world where every team in the league has equal opportunity to acquire one Micah Parsons. Do you know how far we would be on the short list of teams he wants to play for? Watch the top 100 videos when Micah Parsons starts reminiscing and going back down memory lane about how much he loved playing for Dan Quinn. Every time he starts talking about Jaden Daniels, Washington, he starts going into a spiel about how much he loves Dan Quinn and how he lets him be himself and do whatever. Bro, if this was a equal opportunity world where teams would trade a prime 25-year-old superstar player at a position of need for us to a divisional rival, this would get done. And I'm not sitting here talking, no, we trading Terry for Micah or no shit like that. I'm just saying that's a player you go after if you're on the short list. Here's the thing. On the Dallas Cowboys side of things, it would be possibly the dumbest fucking thing done in the history of the league to trade Micah Parsons to the Washington Commanders. But in this world that we're living in this video, what if Washington made a trade for Micah Parsons? gave him an extension paying him $40+ million a year, and eventually settled in on a deal with Terry. Or let's just say in this hypothetical world, we acquire Parsons and somehow ship Terry off for some draft compensation since we're going to be losing a boatload for trading for Parsons. How much better would the Washington command? Look at this picture right here. Nigga, we would have a top 5 quarterback and a top 3 edge rusher on the same football team. We would have the quarterback to both sides of, oh my God, our pass rush would be insane. And he's played with Dorrance Armstrong in Dallas before. Dorrance Armstrong, Micah Parsons, Von Miller, Dietrich Wise, Javonte Jean-Baptiste. Micah Parsons would take this defense over the top, and with it drastically and vastly improved secondary, kind of like the ascension of the secondary in Dallas, adding a Micah Parsons would be the cherry on top of a Super Bowl contention Sunday. My, I am just salivating at the thought of it, but realistically, there's no world where Dallas would ever consider it. So if Micah Parsons is ever going to play for a Washington Commander organization, there's going to have to be a stopgap location in between Washington and Dallas, meaning he's going to have to get traded from someone else and hit free agency, hit the open market, or request a trade again from the team that trades for him. That is the only fucking way possible in real life Washington could acquire Micah Parsons. I'm just trying to be realistic with y'all. This is a fun conversation. This is a fun hypothetical and exercise. I love it here. He looks so good in that 11 jersey. You know how fast I would rip 11 off Luke McCaffrey if Micah Parsons came to this team? Like T.I. and the ATL, rip that shit right off Nunu's chest. This is a beautiful sight here. Unfortunately, this is a sight that is not realistic, but it's a fun exercise. Also, you have to go through what the cost is going to be. The cost for Micah Parsons would be something ignorant. It would be something that is multiple first rounds plus, multiple first rounds plus, maybe players included, but he is 1,000% worth it. We were having these conversations for Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett and company, who are like 30, 29 years old. Micah Parsons is coming off his rookie year. He is entering the 5th year option year of his rookie deal. He is 25 years old, and he has not had one season in this league yet where he's had under 11 sacks. This is the upper echelon, top tier of edge rusher. And he didn't come into the league as an edge rusher. He came into the league as a linebacker, a hybrid. And he was just so damn good coming off the edge that they had no choice but to put him there. And there is a clear distinction and difference between the way that this Parsons and Trayvon Diggs saga is playing out in Dallas and the Terry McLaurin situation. We heard Terry say a lot during that 32-minute Eastern Motors soliloquy, but it did not sound like this Micah Parsons shit. Micah Parsons just wrote his ether to the Dallas Cowboys organization. And once this is even bigger than the Myles Garrett Declaration of Independence that he wrote a few months ago to the Cleveland Browns. He let it be known, I no longer want to be a part of this organization. He didn't really leave room on the table to salvage or to reconcile the relationship, but money could always do it. But the way Micah talking, and also I could tell by the way it worded, that is not from an agent. That shit came straight from podcast Parsons. So he wants out of there. He wants out of there. I'm sure Adam Peters will make the call, but Jerry Jones, even being an old senile idiot, I don't think he would entertain ever. I don't even think they're going to trade him in the conference if they were to trade him. Why would they trade him in the division? But if they were willing to do so, man, just look at the picture that's on the screen right now. That shit is gorgeous. That shit is that shit got multiple Super Bowl appearances written all over it. But I'm here to tell you, Washington Commanders Nations, I know y'all are going to keep spamming me about Micah Parsons to DC. The only way Micah Parsons finds his way to the Washington Commanders is if there's a stopgap team in between Dallas to here, because it would be a top 2 worst decisions in NFL history to trade a prime superstar at one of the top valued positions in the league to one of your division rivals. And that's where I'll close the book on it. Y'all have a great, blessed rest of your weekend, and flood the comments with all of your thoughts, delusions, and unrealistic takes about how Parsons to DC could realistically happen, because I'm very intrigued to see so. That is all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Get your tickets to the Commanders Kings live event coming up on August 24th at Crystal City Sports Pub. Me, Louis T Network, Street Scores Rico, and Ed Oliver will be having our first live podcast from 5:45 to 9 p.m. We'll probably go over the 9 p.m. thing. You know how we get down. Come party with the guys. Crystal City Sports Pub, not the Gentleman's Club or the restaurant. You can go see some titties afterwards. But hail to the Washington Commanders. Until next time, Commander Rio is out. #PayTerry.